Hello, welcome back to Karagor Studios Remnant Lunar Archon Session 84. Hope you're having a great time. I know we are. At least I think so. Not then. Guess it's up to these guys to tell me. But I'm having a good time overall. So we're gonna play, and hopefully it'll continue to be a good time. Wow, it occurs to me I'm about to roll to see who gives the recap, and currently 4 out of 5 players are muted. So we'll see where this goes. It's not Chris because he did it last time. Jack, you want to give the recap? Then again, were you there?
No, I missed last week.
Well, let me roll again. Hey Sam, you want to give the recap?
Give me a second, I'm opening Fantasy Grounds.
Okay. Just now opening Fantasy Grounds? I've had Fantasy Grounds open for like literally 30 minutes now.
Well, obviously,
Should
you
have been
hosted
closer
it.
to an hour, actually. Because I had it open before I actually prepped. Should have opened it.
Well, I
Yeah,
forgot to open it.
I'm a
until
way
just now.
overachiever. Let's go. Good job, me.
Give me a second. I'm opening my notes here.
That's good. Notes are helpful most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Right, this is
Alright.
buying me time to finish checking that thing I wanted to check.
So, last time, we uncursed Gambit and figured out his lamp does not have a genie and is in fact cursed. And Garon's uncle really wanted to look into it. I can't remember what we decided on that. If he was allowed to or not.
Y'all didn't hand it over, so.
And then Thicket discovered that the rock in his portable hole had moved. And so we looked at it and we tried to talk to it. And then John polymorphed it into a cat. And he was very surprised that he could see. And he very quickly figured out how far away the sun is, because apparently he's good at math. And he speaks Terran, and he's 8 years old. And he is now our pet rock. And we spent like an hour talking to him.
True.
I mean, how often do you get to talk to a pet rock?
Fair.
He would just
You
listen.
spent the entirety of a
Pretty much
polymorph
the-
spell talking to it. So that
Yeah.
was the method by which you could have more than just Thicken. You didn't realize he was actually a living creature until you cast polymorph and he failed to save. You tried to identify him, but you can't identify creatures, so the spell failed. And that really threw Mori for a loop.
Well, we tried to cast Speak with Animals. And
True.
we couldn't understand because he's not an animal when he's a rock.
Yup.
But he is a creature, so we could polymorph him.
Yes. This is accurate. I found the thing that I needed to check. Good. Yeah, I think you pretty much covered it. A lot of the session was spent learning about the rock's abnormal talent of math. Yeah, so y'all chilled the afternoon. You did the last performance. You made a boatload of money. I don't remember how much, but a bunch. So the parties, I can check the net worth. Let's see, net worth of the party. At least I should be able to. Okay, party's net worth is currently including the platinum and gold. Y'all are sitting at the maybe roughly 220 there, bring that up to 100, add another 7,000, roughly 18,500 gold pieces altogether.
Wow.
Highly respectable amount.
Good.
Stupid rich, actually. I believe left off as Garand met wearing his Did you get a new? I think you wore the same suit, but you then used prestidigitation to make it red, like
Yeah,
pinkish red. Her colors. And then you met with Rusty. She was waiting in front of the castle, where she was wearing more toward not quite Garand's colors, because Garand wears a lot of brown, but a very sea-inspired dress. As it is 5:30, the sun is still in the sky on Saturday, the 25th of June. 5:30 p.m. Saturday, 25th of June, 4:17 post-schism. The standard moon phase is a morning crescent. So the question is, do we follow Garand and Rusty first? Or do we see what everyone else wants to do for the evening?
I'm really excited to see what Garand and Rusty do, personally.
Fair enough, fair enough. I had a feeling that might be the case. Okay. I don't remember what all was said at the end, but you walk up. He looks over to you. Hey, Garand.
He's got the look on his face like, of course we tried to look like each other. I should have thought that she would do that. You know, depending on her ability to read people, I guess might be how much she would know that, like how obvious it would be. But good evening. You look lovely. Very nice dress. Oh wait, I'm making saves. Great.
You are making a save.
Do I finally fail?
So, what is Garand's current greatest desire?
I guess at this moment is to help her to have the best time possible. And then I guess, yeah, I guess that would be the greatest desire at this exact moment.
Okay. There's a flash of light blue on her eyes. Not that you would be able to tell. What was it you said?
Just to try to help her to have as
No,
best time
before
as...
that, the thing that I interrupted with the saving throw.
Oh, you look lovely this evening. I tried to match you. You tried to match me. You know, that's kind of funny. So you had said to make the decision on where to go. And
yeah,
I tried to you know, look a little bit, but I have to be honest, I was sincerely concerned that there was going to be some sort of violent outbreak yesterday. You know. So unfortunately, that means that I have failed you. And I have not found a proper place for us to go. So we can go for a walk and see where we find ourselves. We could go to the tavern that we went to when we first got here. They seem nice. There was a heavily dwarven tavern where I love dwarves. They're penchant for camaraderie and you know, drinking songs and things. It really fits right in my wheelhouse. So if any of that sounds great, otherwise I do apologize that I have let you down, but hopefully that will not sour the evening too much.
make an insight check.
And I don't know if you want me to roll persuasion, because like maybe she's not sure that I'm lying, or maybe she's whatever. But anyway, 17. Oh wow! Look at that! I did good. Hey, Thicket, look it. You're rubbing off on me.
I need to check something. This is what happens when you don't have your notes up. With that insight, you do see, especially with the, effectively during most of that, relatively early on, you see the slightest eye roll. Fortunately, I'm, someone who likes to prepare backup plans. I have a place picked out. Come on.
Oh, excellent. All right. Are we just gonna go for a stroll, or is there some secret, elaborate magic or other trick in store?
Well, I intended on walking there unless you can teleport us to somewhere you don't know.
No, I don't think I can do that exactly just yet. But
Just
it's
yet.
worth asking. Yeah, I am continuously surprised at what Decim has been giving me. So
Interesting.
at this, I'm pretty convinced that he genuinely feels bad about what happened with the ship. So I don't know if all of the what is it? The 12? Is that right? I forget how many there are.
There are
But
10.
10, right? Sorry. I'm not sure if they're all as delightful. But him I like, and Tria I like her. So, that's good.
You've just met the two?
As far as I'm aware, I think.
Wonder if you'll run into any others. I mean, there are 10. You're already at a far higher percentage than the average person.
I do like to play the odds.
The odds of another one are not in your favor. But
When
sometimes you have to make the low bet.
is that a jab at me? He's being playful.
I guess that's for you to decide.
Certainly hope not.
Take it however you will.
So tell me about this place we're going, unless you want it to be a surprise.
Well, it's not much of a surprise. It's called the Celestial Cauldron. Nice little place on the north side of town. Situated with a, rather beautiful mosaic on the ceiling. It's always nighttime. You can always see the stars.
Oh, that's interesting.
What makes you think you're the, low roll?
Oh, I mean, I was an adventurer passing through, and turned out that we were able to help each other. I can't imagine that someone of your status and so forth would have been so impressed by such a wild effective orphan.
Well,
Not the gallant knight in shining armor, as it were.
Evolving to a guppy.
Well, unfortunate. Orphanhood is actually, quite statistically common among adventurers. You're not really a exception in that regard. But
Making my point for me.
but an adventurer who chooses to rehabilitate a group of thieves instead of simply putting them in jail at no reward to themselves, that's not quite so common. And don't act like it wasn't just your idea. You talk about all the others sparing the kobolds as if you had no input on the subject. If you'd started blasting, don't you think they would have followed suit?
I honestly don't know. I didn't know them well at that time, so who's to say that how they would have handled things then? They might have thought that I was a liability and not worth protecting. I don't know.
What about now? If you were to walk in to a situation and decide to go wands blazing, think they'd follow suit?
Perhaps they would try to help me, but perhaps they would also wonder if maybe I had been possessed or something. We've had quite a weird bit of luck, if you will, with such things, and particularly where Grim or other sorts of things might be involved. And, it seems to be the thing that we do aim to rehabilitate, redeem, so forth, and I understand that there are plenty of people that's not possible to do, but I think the fact that they want to give so many a chance to try is delightful. It is refreshing from how I was raised.
You said you were raised with the elves, weren't you? Were they not compassionate?
Yeah, so they, in some ways, yes, but perhaps it is my human father. Perhaps it is his, maybe the way that he chose to do things. But I think that when you've lived as long as the elves have, I think that you become jaded, disenfranchised, as it were. And so because of this, it's also that they're slow to change their mind about things.
In my experience, you don't have to live as long as an elf to have that problem.
That's unfortunate.
There are a lot of people that need persuading. Lots of people like the familiar. They like the way it's done and aren't just interested in a change. The entire idea of a courier service was non-existent. There might be a small business or a single courier who would go around just looking for work, using it as really an excuse to travel. I was among the first who wanted to make it something larger. Same way with business as with people, I suppose. You were saying?
Well, I was just going to say, at the college ball, the showing of the historical artifacts and such, it came up that the idea of long distance communication, which could in some ways be a hindrance or even possibly a removal to some of the more mundane parts of the courier, we'll say, economy. If such a thing were to happen, are you so interested in the connectivity of people that you would adjust to that and include that as part of what you're doing, or would you fight against such a thing? I don't have an opinion as of yet. It's very theoretical, but it's good to know where a person stands on things and how they feel and so forth.
It's funny to me that you remember the context of that conversation, but not those who were in it.
I will tell you that I pick up on some things and completely miss others. So it's
Krivenai, the
okay.
evocation professor. It was
Right,
my
okay.
idea. I think
Oh.
if we could repurpose the resources used in the courier system that I run, if we could create something to transfer messages at the snap of a finger, at that point, the whole courier system would begin to break down. But it's very easy to adapt. My plan, should we get it working, is to have a separate office in each city that's located with such an item or system of communication. If it's too expensive to lead individual people, which if that were the case, then I would try to finance the creation of such objects and the sales of them. However, if they're relatively restricted, then I would make sure that every Darvishi office in the country, and across the world soon enough, would have one. And instead of sending messages thousands of miles by courier, we transfer them in an afternoon, and then it would be distributed throughout the city by the couriers themselves.
Is she just proposing a telegraph office?
Basically. Essentially,
Yeah.
the old fantasy telegraph system.
Okay, well then, good. So you are then in favor of innovation and progress and improvements and such.
I see no reason to keep things the way they are, other than because it works right now. But you can always make things better. Well, I suppose not always. But a lot of things can be made better, faster, influence more people. I mean, I alone employ over 300 individuals across the country, the majority of whom are individual couriers. People who want to see the world and want to be paid for it, who are willing to take the message, willing to brave the woods, the dangers that come with the grim, and I'm willing to train them and help them. And I think if we could make an even better system of communication, not only would that be quite lucrative, but I think it would be beneficial to the country as a whole. It took months from when Selzander first interacted with, I forget his name. Micah forgets his name. She wouldn't.
Right.
When Selzander first manipulated Ulrich, it was 4 months later when we finally knew something was up, thanks to you all. Maybe just a few months, but even then, quite a while. With information like this, not only can information be gathered faster, but, say, you, or we'll take Doug since he doesn't have any magical expertise. If Doug had found himself, perhaps without you all, in Moraine, the far north of the country, or even upon the spire that rests to the northwest, and something happened if he found out about Alexander, his attack, his attempted coup, there's no way that he could get back in time to warn anyone. If he had some method to communicate, whether it be from Moraine or from himself, he could let me or Simeon or someone else know, and potentially save thousands of lives. And while others, such as yourself, could do the same thing with magic, if you eventually learn the sending spell, or if someone else in your group does, that's good, but only for you. There's the vast majority of everyone in this country is unable to cast a single spell, let alone something strong enough to send a message across the world. We can find a way to streamline the process, to trade information faster. It would allow us to do business, to grow. Not just my business, but everyone. I could communicate with Kriv, the professor, constantly, get him to work on a research project within the school, far separate from where I'm doing business. As of now, it's simply not possible. Yes. Innovation in the future are good things. I don't tend to have any hesitation toward it, and I'll adapt as it comes. I'm sure many people will surprise me with their own innovations, their own creations. Be happy to roll with the punches.
Maverick's wanting to learn how to make more creations, and he does love to punch things.
Well,
But that's
maybe I
talking
can
about.
hire him on
It's
sometime.
not the restaurant.
Yeah, it's right over here. As you finally get to a large domed building, fairly wide. Stepping in, it is a fairly nice place. There is the sound of piano and several brass instruments, including a saxophone, gently playing in the background.
Can I make a performance check? Can I make a performance check to see if I notice any flaws in it, so I can be
Yes, make a performance check. Make an intelligence-based performance check.
Okay.
Which isn't much worse for you, because I know your intelligence is high.
Yep. Oh.
Yeah, you're able to notice a few things. In particular, some of the keys on the piano just barely are a little flat or out of tune. You can tell that the saxophonist is quite good. However, some of the other instruments, I can't think of other brass instruments for some reason off the top of my head. Other brass instruments, you can tell at least one of the other people is far less experienced and is doing his best to keep up. What was that?
Trumpet, trombone, French horn.
We'll say trombone and trumpet.
A
Sure.
euphonium.
Not a
A
euphonium.
euphonium.
That
Aw.
We'll say a trumpet. The trumpet player is doing okay, but he's clearly less experienced than everyone else.
Gotcha. He's probably filling in. All right.
Stepping
I'll
in, you see there are very few booths along the exterior. In particular, the exterior are these soft blue glowing lights, not unlike the will-o-wisps that you fought in the desert, gently illuminating the whole building. As well as similar dots like the will-o-wisps, but far smaller, far more detailed, that cover the ceiling, creating... Make an intelligence check. Creating some sort of night sky. Thousands of stars gently glowing in the ceiling. It feels as if you're looking up at the sky even though the sun is still out. Not that you can really tell because the windows are relatively darkened to make it as though you're stepping into a midnight viewing of the sky in the middle of nowhere.
All right. 2 more on that for the half.
See? Still can't
Yeah.
tell any particular details.
If 12 makes enough of a difference, all right. I'm just kind of following her lead. So do we just sit? Is there someone to seat us? Oh,
Someone, a waiter comes over. Mr. Vichy. He will lead you seemingly to a table she'd already had prepared. To a small table near the middle of the room. Just the 2 seats. Same sort of design as all the other tables with fancy silverware, napkins, candles that are not lit. It seems to be in case they need them at any point. With the unlit candles, enough light being provided by the ceiling and by the periphery lights to see quite well. Several empty glasses set along the table. She sits down.
Then after she does, then Garon will And just in case at any point she stands up, Garan will stand up. His mama raised him right. um, Says, if you have any recommendations, I'm open to them. Otherwise, we can order some wine if that'd be all right.
As the waiter walks back over, bottle of the Starlight Elixir. He nods and heads over before eventually returning with this dark red bottle. It does appear to be a wine. There's no writing on it. There is one singular drawing of a star that he will pour, she will taste, nod, and then he will pour each glass. The coloration is a deep burgundy that seems to have these almost reflective specks moving through it. So Sorry.
No, it's fine. Please, yeah. If you have, if you want to tell me about it, I'm interested. I just had to hope that there wasn't some sort of fey magic in there.
No magic here, just good food. As I understand it, speaking, I suppose, clinically, it's a fairly complex blend of a few different wines, focusing largely on a style from North Vale, a very deep series of, what's the word? A well-made wine using dark grapes and a variety of spices, mixed with a few others from different locations, including what they call ice wine, out of Mantle. And lastly, silver dust. Give it the pretty look.
Ooh, very nice.
Don't worry, it won't hurt you.
No, I'm not. It's not iron, so iron can be very painful for elves. We can't imbibe it. We're far enough removed from our Fey heritage that it's not like directly poisoned. It will give us discomfort, but no.
Really?
And I'm not a werewolf.
I thought that was just an old maid's tale.
No. Cold iron is the worst. Thankfully, cold iron seems to be quite rare nowadays. I don't know if it will come back into fashion someday, or you never know when a mine might be founded. But so it's not good. It also shows it's a good way to know if you're in a better quality establishment or what have you. I would not recommend spreading that around. But if you ever do need to make someone feel uncomfortable, I suppose you could. So please don't let anyone know that I told you the secret. But shall we toast to redemption and progress?
Raise her glass, setting it to yours. Redemption and progress. Bright future, where people live. Don't die to a horde of monstrous creatures in the dark. That's
That was an ominous toast.
Sorry.
Everything okay?
No, just one of the reasons why I want to get a method to transfer information over long distances without issue is because it's dangerous for my people. We lose quite a few couriers every year.
That
That's
is
exactly what it is, grim or otherwise.
It is unfortunate. Well, maybe this will bring the mood back. You may or may not be as yet aware, but the messengers, which maybe you could be underwrite the group as a guild sort of benefactor. Just a thought process. Gonna just throw that out there. But either way,
Insight check.
Let's go, 15. Let's go.
You can see a sly smile with you bringing up a basically making a business proposition in the middle of the conversation. Continue.
Hopefully she either knows or is starting to read the kind of person that Garand is, regardless of how that she feels about that. At least to know like that he has not like ill intent. But anyway, but we are in the process of acquiring 4 magical swords that apparently fit into a lock to unveil a powerful relic weapon that we might use to destroy some Grim. So it is possible that we are on the way to making some of that become a reality. We have the one, and we basically have a bead on one more, and then we know where 2 others are about. So that was part of the reason why I wanted to be present at the meeting. In fact, Tatsui has one, and if he seemed the right sort, I might have proposed him lending it to us that we might accomplish this feat. However, there is so much that disquiets me about him that I am no longer of the opinion that that is a possibility. Now it's trying to best decipher when to accost him and deal with whatever treachery he has in mind. So, there's that.
You're still convinced after the Lord's meeting that he has a plan to go against Her Majesty?
I do, in fact. I'm not the wisest of sorts. I tend to look at things as puzzles and not as long term. For example, I presume that you wanted to go on a date because you wanted to be treated well, treated like a lady. Maybe you don't get to do that sort of thing all the time since you run a city. It's part of the reason why I apologize right away, because I have failed you in that. I had not found a place suitable in time. And I hope that you understand that that was not through lack of care or concern. But I am a somewhat driven and focused person. I really only have a few goals in mind. Right now, it is helping my friends who, in all rights and purposes, have become my family, to basically achieve their goals and to help them out of whatever sort of issues they may have, while we solve this mission that we were given. Once that's done, I want to restore my mother and father. Now, apparently, my uncle tell me that my father's alive, and I'm still kind of processing that, if I'm being honest. And I really don't know what to think. I mean, I don't know the man enough, and it's always possible that it could be some sort of trick, though I don't know to what end and why that would be beneficial. So it just, yeah, I've had to table it, and I've had to kind of put it to the side. So that's been a distraction. And the fact that Tatsui is among the favored cities from Selsander's list, while obviously you and several others that we like or on the unfavored side, it leads me to wonder a few things. And furthermore, I'm of the opinion now that Selzander and even all of his cohorts were actually puppets played against one another by Tatsui. And I am of the opinion that the new Lord is actually a new puppet for Tatsui. So, yeah, I have little to no reason to trust Tatsui, and you don't have all of that blood and bone dust because you can't wait to serve the people. That's just not how it works. That's a power move. So, anyway, I say all that to say I want to treat you right, and I want to be a friend to you, and I want to honor you and be respectful and thoughtful and considerate and kind. And I failed you, and I'm sorry. And I appreciate that you are the sort of person that would have a backup plan in mind. Because it allows someone like me, who's not as forward thinking, who's more very present, we'll say, to balance that out in a sense. So I'm very thankful that you are the way that you are, if that makes sense. So, and I hope the way that I am is not to been too much of a disappointment. I did notice the eye roll earlier, so I understand.
I appreciate the compliment. Not a disappointment. You have your mind on a lot of things. You have a lot of eggs being tossed, carried, irons in the fire. I can understand how you'd forget. Around that moment, a waiter will approach. Having not taken your order, he will bring 2 salads and what appear to be 2 relatively simple soups. Heavily broth-based, assuming you try it. A relatively savory but light flavor. And what can I interest you both in tonight?
I'll wait for her to order first, or if she points to me, then I'll order for the both of us.
So you will look at the menu for a moment. The sunfish, grilled. He will nod and look to you.
I'm also looking over the different fish options.
Make up whatever fish you want.
Oh, fantastic!
I
Ooh,
didn't have star-based fish
no,
prepared. Sunfish
fine.
just works.
Ooh,
It's a nice place. It has what you want.
Yeah, nice place. It has what you want. Debating if there
Right.
is even a menu at this place or if it's just what do you want.
nice. Ooh, swordfish fillet on a bed of wild rice, served with asparagus and mushrooms. Oh, delightful!
Wonderful.
It's funny. I actually made a soup earlier today. I made a chicken noodle. So
Love soup.
one of the noodle soups I've had in a long time too.
Ooh,
Maybe ever.
very
but-
nice. As he will step back away, leaving to your salad, as she will begin to poke at the salad. There's a lot of different things you just said I can connect to. What makes you think it was Tatsui that was pulling all the strings?
Selzander wasn't focused enough. In fact, the way that everything went, I actually think that his mage had more of a head for politicking and maneuvering than he did. And yet he was the leader. That shows me that someone was playing them against each other.
No. You make a fair point, though I'd also note that he who does the politics isn't always the charismatic one. That being a leader is more than just having the right ideas, it's being able to communicate them and get people to follow you. Though it is possible that Salzander was being manipulated by Liang, if Liang wanted Salzander to act in certain ways to use Salzander's charisma. And you said Salzander killed Liang?
Yeah, we had quite a fight with Liang, in fact, and then he ran to join up, and I presumably tag team and fight us all together, and to everyone's surprise, including Liang, I think, Salzander just ended him.
Strange. Well, assuming they were set against each other, it would seem that Liang trusted Salzander in the last moment, and Salzander saw it as an opportunity to remove the competition, per se.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not sure. I think the only way that we could find out a little more is the lady that effectively switched sides. She was tired of the bloodshed, and she didn't want to have anything to do with getting the whole city to rally against the queen through conscription.
That Gemla, right?
I believe so. But it's, if she has been given leave to support the new lord, if perchance, just even knowing whether or not she's been in contact with Tatsui, I think that might be enough to lend itself to whatever plots may be going on there. But again, we've been warned countless times that trying to take on Tatsui in his home is not the right idea. And we don't have enough to come against him now. And so I honestly feel like we are at an impasse. And without any further information or otherwise, I don't know how we are going to abscond with his blade in order to try to save the day. So, honestly, I feel somewhat defeated before it even started, if that makes sense.
Have you ever played Dragon Chess, Garand?
We'll say he's played, but I don't think I'm proficient. So yeah, I'm gonna say, once or twice. I see the
basic rules.
of it, but I'm sorry.
Do you know the basic rules? Have the opponent's king.
Yes, I believe so.
There are a number of ways to win the game. Technically one, but in reality, there are a number of strategies you can use to get there. Such as cutting off every single resource your opponent has one at a time, making safe moves or careful sacrifices until there's nothing but the king left. Other times you distract or separate their allies, leave them without recourse or aid, and then you trap them where they can't escape. If the king is in a well-defined, well-protected area, you either need to find a way to remove the protection or to render it pointless.
We could theoretically push ourselves to not sleep
It seems like a
But-
method of ignoring, potentially avoiding.
I just I feel like we just don't have enough information yet, and I don't want to take risk or put those I care for at risk without a little bit more to go on. Then we just need that sword. So, who's to say? Perhaps a lovely mistress of messages may profoundly deliver such a message to the messengers. And you never know what can happen, right? So there's a bittersweet reality of our time here. We've finally put some coin in our pocket. We've had some success with performances and a race, and getting to catch a glimpse at the leadership of our realm. And it's finishing nicely with a delightful interlude with a absolutely lovely person. There's still one more thing to do. Got to help John not be arrested. But we believe that will be resolved relatively easily enough. Beyond that, I'm not sure. Oh, we did help to reconcile, kind of quell a lover's quarrel, as it were. And so that was nice. That's always fun. But my understanding is that they will fight again soon, for some reason or another. So, however beneficial it actually was, I guess it remains to be seen. But even so, then I met my uncle, found out my father was alive. Yeah, it's been weird and strange, and kind of honestly looking to get back on the road and killing some Grim and saving the day, where we can actually do something. Oddly, I feel like our hands have been tied here.
There are those who would call it the restriction of society. There's only so much you can do, even if you think Tatsui's guilty. You can't just attack him in the Queen's quarters.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. Does
But I
not.
understand you also have other enemies, other lords you're concerned about. So you
Right,
also
yeah.
can't simply off. It certainly complicates matters when, as adventurers, you can't do what you do best, which is take it into your own hands.
Yeah, if there was some sort of way to speed things up, again, right, kind of like your idea, if we could communicate more effectively, then yes, that would be of benefit of use. Perhaps we'll find out in a few days. I know that some are trying to get further information, try to resolve it better, so who's to say?
What does that mean?
Simeon has apparently some spies there and is going to try to find more information. So,
Remind me where there is for this one? You said...
Tatsui's place, Nace or whichever one.
Yes, it's nice.
So, I get confused often, the different city names, Where I'm from, rocks are not as prevalent. It's trees and, the flora, the fauna, that sort of thing.
Geography is... well, it comes naturally to me, but for most people it's difficult. It's, a lot to keep track of. Certainly. And it's not even considering small settlements, which traders like to travel, knowing which cities have best food, the easiest access to ores, the best smiths. But that's my job. Know all of that. Yours is to keep it all from falling apart, right?
Yeah, or redeem it, right? Well, this is very delightful wine, and I'm enjoying my salad. What?
Perception check.
Okay. Womp womp.
Okay, continue.
What? So, why a date?
Not just a date. I get 5 questions.
That's
Yet
right.
asked.
You know what? I have not counted anything that you've asked until now. I have not counted anything. So why don't we start with that? Well, let's go. Give me those 5.
Unfortunately for me, you already answered 1 without me asking.
I won't count it unless you wanted to count.
No, I
That's
like having an extra question.
all right. So yeah, feel free. You know, but I'm in it now. So now these 5 will count.
Did you
Deal?
learn any secrets in Sheer while overthrowing Sylzander?
Maybe. I guess you want me to make like an intelligence check to see if I remember like what she might be talking about.
You can make an intelligence check.
Womp womp.
It's a question. Huh? Do what you will
Amazing
with
at
it.
performance rolls. Intelligence and perception, not quite so
Despite
much.
having a good intelligence modifier, you just can't seem to roll well on it.
Yeah, I mean it happens. No, I mean no. There was like I think like a half vampire lord or something,
Oh.
prince, something like that, and he was part of the help, but he didn't really care about running the city. He just wanted Selzander
Say
gone
more
because
about
he.
that story.
Sure. And then I'll proceed, like, while I'm eating the salad and soup, I'll proceed to tell her as much as I can recall about Bale. And we'll guess that maybe that was the only thing that maybe could come up. So if there's something else that Micah was hoping for Christopher to remember through Grand,
If
then
I
that's
did,
not
I
happening.
wouldn't
But,
tell you because.
well, no, don't tell me. Yeah, don't tell me now. I'm just saying, if there is something else, he's not going to get it. We'll say that he thought it was like the secret about Bale, the vampire guy, or whatever, who was on their side. So, like, as far as Garan's concerned, good dude.
A little Dampier
all right,
running
well,
around. That's interesting.
So.
And here I thought the vampires were more or less perhaps not eradicated, but led to the shadows. Curious to know there's someone having fun out there. Sounds like he's a good one, fortunately.
Yeah, he was quite handy in the fights, so thankful we had him.
The legends of Corvus are quite the opposite. Blood pits and all that.
Yeah, he didn't seem to really like the guy, so there's that. All right. While we're finishing up our soup, it looks like the food's coming.
Wonderful.
5 for 2.
The food is sad and you begin eating. Do you have any influence over Decim or his power? Or just what he gives you?
I don't know. You could argue that perchance I do, because he felt like giving me. So, maybe it's a mutually beneficial relationship, what they call the symbiotic, right? Like in nature, you find there's certain animals that like work with plants or other animals and do things together, and they help each other.
The nature doesn't know much about nature. Interesting.
Fair enough. Makes sense. I mean, she's a business person. She, totally makes sense.
She has apparently symbiosis is not in her textbook. Interesting.
Totally fine.
I'd be curious to see how you interact. Have you ever, I guess, sure, I'll use another question. What are the times that you've seen him in person. How's that gone?
It's been like a weird dream sort of situation. And mostly it was warning about the upcoming fight with effectively, I guess, the negative version of him. Apparently, the 10 have some sort of twisted anti-them.
Interesting. I would definitely be curious to know more about that. Looks like I have something to add to my reading list.
And I'm not sure why I have to be the one to fight, but apparently something about along the lines of maybe choosing a champion or a representative. Like they may have some sort of limitation placed on them as part of the whole separation, the sundering stuff, the whole
The
schism thing.
Yeah, I would guess so. Doesn't make sense. If the gods left, they wouldn't want their representatives doing anything too dramatic in their stead.
And I have no qualms about destroying something that's the opposite of Decim. Decim has treated me fairly, has spared me, which means that I could possibly restore my family. So I am okay with it. So is that 3 or 2?
Make a perception or deception check based on what you just said. That you're alright with that.
Make a persuasion or deception?
Persuasion or deception, whichever you think is more appropriate.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I am okay with taking out a villain. Because in Garon's mind, he's a villain. Now, it could be that Decim's actually the bad guy and the other one's good, but we'll have to deal with that when that happens.
Interesting. Number 4. Tell me about the moment that changed your life the most.
Being the sole survivor of a shipwreck. Specifically because my mother was on it. And the crew was great. They were wonderful lads. A few gals that worked it too were good. Captain, everybody. It's more than you could have hoped for. I would not say that a single person from the captain to the lowest cabin boy deserved any of that. Decim seemed to be truly grieved when he discovered what had happened as a result of his rebirth. Now that I say that, it's possible that the only reason why I was spared is because I was willing to be his voice or his hand or whatever. It could be that he maybe didn't have the power to bring anyone back because maybe that's part of the way things work. At least when he has to be reborn, anybody close enough that is destroyed is just destroyed. And maybe that grieves him. I don't know.
It's strange thinking of something so ancient as having such emotions. But if they're alive, I guess they must have something.
What makes you think it's strange? I mean,
I would expect having centuries of perspective of seeing people come and go might cause a being, especially one so disconnected as a storm phoenix from human or a faunus, that it would result in them feeling disconnected, that we're all just, that we're bugs that he's watching, things that will last so short a time, whose lifespan will be over in our equivalent of a day anyway. So what's the matter if one falls?
See, then maybe that's the benefit of having met two. Because the two that I've met did not give me that impression. One thought that it was worth investigating my performance and John's assistance in that. The fact is that John and I just wanted to make the most of what we were doing in order to help the rest of the team. You don't drop what you're doing to go hear a performance if small things don't matter to you. And you don't show grief if they're bugs. I hope that they're all like this, but at least the two that I met seem to truly value reality, life, existence, whatever all this is.
I've never met
And-
one, so I guess you can see why I would perceive them as more of a force of nature than a personality. But given your experience, you're probably more of an authority on the subject than I am. I believe you.
I just hope that those two aren't the lone lights in the darkness. I hope that the others are equally as invested.
Maybe if you meet them all, you'll be able to give me a report. Let me know what you find out.
You can count on it. I would love to make sure that the mistress of currying had more information.
I do love information. Especially when it's clear. Speaking of which, that brings to my fifth question. Occasionally you've been hard to read and dodgy. Do you intend there to be something between us? Something more permanent, a relationship, just flirting? A friend you call on when you need something?
No. If I've given you any impression that it's the last, I apologize. That is not the case. I think you are a lovely person, and I would greatly enjoy getting to know you further. But being the life that I have now, unless you want to give up everything that you have and come join us and travel alongside us and go through the day to day, I just don't think it's fair to either of us to force something when neither of us can properly focus. So if something were to happen, as regrettable as it might be, I think it would have to be sometime in the future, preferably after we've completed our quest for the 4 sword keys and hopefully destroyed whatever dark entity this thing is meant to slay, and that I have restored my mother and father to right relationship and standing, bringing my mother back to life possibly, or whatever the situation is with all that. It's still kind of murky. I'm assuming she drowned or whatever at sea, and I'll have to use powerful magics to get it back. But once that and all of my my fellow messengers' lives are sorted to where they feel satisfied, then I think I've traveled enough on my own at this point to know that I could settle anywhere, and I could think of countless worse places than your home, particularly as I hope to end the drug trafficking trade that you've been trying to take care of as well.
It's been as much of a problem recently. They've seemed to all but disappeared, at least the initial supplier we had. But
That's great news. Good job.
in regards to the rest of the content, there's for your words. Like I said, statistics are unfortunately not on your side. See what happens if we're all still here in a year. If we're all the same in a year. She raised her glass toward yours. If nothing else, then to two ships passing in the night.
May we both progress.
Well, I'm just about finished. Dessert doesn't interest me, but it can if you'd like.
I am happy to oblige whatever would be most suitable for you.
I have no interest in dessert. The fish was good enough for me. You're welcome to eat if you'd like.
Then how about walk if you are finished? Or do they have dancing here, or would you like to go for a game somewhere or something else?
A walk to watch the sunset seems just fine.
All right. Then I will pay, and I will tip the saxophone player, and if possible, if I can use prestidigitation to try to fix some of the piano problem.
Not something prestidigitation could fix on any long range. You could handle it for about an hour because it can alter. Can it alter sound, or is it just make a sound? Yeah.
What does prestidigitation do?
There's a few different things. It's a little bit of a.
It's not exactly a catch-all, but
it's kind of a catch-all type spell. Do you have prestidigitation?
I do.
Ah, there it is. Okay, it's under the I believe maybe
You
Warlock.
clean or soil an object.
For an instantaneous harmless sensory effect, light snuff out, soil or clean, chill, warm, flavor, color, mark, symbol. Okay, so
think
no,
you
it would
can
not
really
be able to tune the piano.
Permanently fix anything.
No, can't even
Okay.
temporarily fix the piano.
That'd be mending. Okay, just want to see.
Mending, yeah, you could argue that mending would be able to retune it.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking with what Jacelin's saying is about tightening or loosening strings. But it's
Sorry,
fine.
I'm not around. I could do that.
It's totally fine. And then yeah. So how much was the?
Let's see. What is the cost of a fancy meal? D&D 5e.
I mean, just think of
Do.
a copper as $1.
Copper. Wasn't it silver that was $1? Or did we run on
No.
copper?
Copper would be $1. So like a gold is $100.
I guess because a fine bottle of wine is. No, I feel like it's silver is $1 because a fine bottle of wine is 100 gold. Then again, how fine the wine is it could be 1,000. So.
$10,000 bottle of wine.
But a hunk
That'd
of
be
cheese
fancy.
being 1 silver, $10.
I
And
guess.
again, a bread being
I
2
don't know.
copper pieces as 20 cents or $2. See, this is the weird part. But I'm gonna go ahead and say, we'll say including the tips, 35 gold.
I feel like the people that made the costs of things were
Yep.
not thinking in the same scale.
I agree. But call it 35 gold.
All right.
Yeah. As you are coming slightly jarring, walking out from a perfect picture of night into the sun still being up, gently coasting down the horizon as it seems to be just about to the point of setting. As you continue to walk. Do you have any questions for me? Not that I technically have to answer them truthfully, given the deal.
He's chuckling. Well, do you feel like it went as good as you hoped, better than you hoped, worse than you had hoped.
As well as I'd hoped. Perhaps a bit better. Some
That
fun
is a-
stories, some interesting conversation, clarity.
That's a win. Then that's great.
One pawn takes another. Queen takes knight. Rook takes bishop. See if anyone in your group knows chess. Or that kind of strategic mind. Barging in, wands blazing, can be useful on occasion. For some, you'll need a bit more strategy than that. Make sure to use your head.
Would you like to continue to stay in touch in some way to write or otherwise communicate?
Well, finding you is going to be a bit more difficult on account of how much you travel around. I'm sure we'll run into each other. But anytime you want to send me a message, wherever there's a Dervishi courier, they can find me.
When do you head back? When do you leave?
Tomorrow morning, early. I've made an
Alright.
arrangement with Simeon to transport me and my aides. He's, from what I understand, relatively taxed in terms of transportation slots. He is, not all the lords have the ability to teleport. Some are willing to help others. I understand the Lord Librarian is, well, it's not uncommon for her to go pick up at least one other lord, such as the Lord of Calcite, is what I understand was her plan this time. Some, like the Lord of Tough, he's able to return home without needing teleportation. Obviously, the sorcerers are more than fine. Those who have access to sorcery or high-level spellcasting, such as Ultrathel, don't need any aid. But me, I can't cast a spell to save my life, so he'll be helping me. Why do you
Well,
ask?
because I had an idea of maybe a trinket of sorts that might work, but I might just give it to the couriers to get to you, if that's the case, and hopefully it will reach you.
Most of them are pretty good at their jobs. Otherwise, I wouldn't keep them working for me. You'll get there.
Do you happen to know when everyone else might be departing? Perchance the Wild Lord, or the?
As I understand, I thought she left earlier today.
Oh well, that's unfortunate.
She didn't have a lot of interest in meeting with other lords, myself included. She's the people of Dyke are quite reclusive, all things considered. They serve Her Majesty. They allow outsiders in, but they don't seek out the connections.
Okay. What about? And you said Sadai is going with Sasha.
Yes.
Right. Okay. But they're leaving tomorrow or later, or do you?
I don't actually know.
All right. Oh,
Depending on how much time Sasha would like to spend with her husband, wouldn't surprise me if she stuck around a day or two.
okay. Because I wanted to speak with him as well. All right. Well. It's been an absolute pleasure. Would you like me to walk you back to where you're staying? What would be your preference?
No, I have the guards. She gestures back. Her following 15 feet back are the two same Queen's Guard.
Sure.
Besides, I don't know if I'll head back immediately. I might do a little more walking, see if I can find, well, I'm curious to see if I can pry any information loose from Tatsui. Anything, if not, what's the word?
He may be, if he is
incriminating, then at the very least, curious.
I wish you the very best of luck, but he may be on his guard around you. If he is the puppet master, you were already on his radar anyway as someone that he did not want to deal with. In fact, you were the source of contention. You were the primary target of the plot when the time came for us to take Salzander out. So, considering that possibility, he may already have you judged as not worthy of what he has to do or whatever, you know. So I guess keep the guards close, yes, and nod to them. And yeah.
Nice of you to care.
You know, it'd be interesting.
Just as you
The
can't
gods-
do whatever you want, he's not nearly foolish enough to attack another lord in this city. And
Yeah.
I might not look it, but I'm a little more capable of handling myself than most would expect.
Oh, forgive me if I made it seem otherwise. I just meant that he might not talk to you very much, or he might be dismissive towards you, or some other sort of thing. And so I'm
I've had people
hoping.
refuse to talk to me before. I won't be jarred.
Okay. Well, it was a delightful evening. Thank you for your place of selection. That food was fantastic. That was very delightful wine.
I'm glad you enjoyed
And
it.
I look forward to seeing you and or talking to you again very soon. And I hope that you have a safe trip back, short though it may be, and that things continue to go well for you as you work towards better forms of communication. And I will bow,
I'll see
lightly
you around, Garand. You said bow and then what?
lightly kiss the top of her hand.
Which hand? Left or right?
The non-robotic hand.
Left.
So I
Just I was about to say, you're about to taste a little bit of iron and cold.
yeah, like all of a sudden my lip swells up. No.
Aha! I had it laced with poison.
Anyway,
Note to self: keep that in mind. Poison hand. That's a clever idea.
so thank you, and I appreciate your time and your willingness to help the messages. Which again, Tavishi Courier's messages, there's some good cross branding going on there. And he'll chuckle and
See you
wait
around.
for.
Begin to walk away.
All right. And when she's about 50 paces or so, he'll finish like watching and just being like the gentleman or whatever, and then going back to John's.
Suddenly, Garand's form shifts, and it's actually Sonata Tatsu. No. Joke's on you. He's always been Sonata.
That'd be wild.
Chris has been double crossing. So what's the rest of the party doing?
We've just been at John's the whole time.
That's a big oh.
We have all been very diligently researching names for our pet rock.
That was a question, not a statement. Guys, answer the poll. Also,
Oh wow, y'all have been.
also, Jack, you can put more than one vote.
Let's see, potential names. Aw, Micah. Yeah, after me. Nice. I know it's actually after a mineral. I think it's a light-colored rock. Giovanni. I mean, Giovanni is a ground-type gym leader in Pokemon, so, you know? Let's see. For the audience sake, they've come up with the names Carver, Micah, Terrence, Mason, Geometry, Giovanni, Jeff, George, Georgie, or Jordy, Sage,
Jordy.
Abacus, Silas, Craig, Pietro, I like saying
Peter, Pierre, Pietro,
Stan, Stanley, Stanford, Dustin, Winston. It's Stan.
and then Jack suggested Sed for sedimentary.
And they did a poll.
That is not in the poll yet.
For sedentarian. The curious thing will be, if it gets to be Geo, which name is then gone with? Y'all are gonna have to do another poll to find out if it's Geometry, Giovanni, Jeff, George, or Jordy.
I have a feeling that it'll end up being all of them. And we
Depending on
just
who
switch.
says it at a given time. That'd be funny. I like that. Good on Rusty. She finally has context and an answer. She can devote her brain power to more important things.
Aw.
Chess boards. Because she does play chess.
I mean, it definitely seems like something that, like, you know, Garon could, like, be okay
Sure.
with playing. Like, he's not, like... He had other interests.
No, but it's part of how she thinks.
Yeah.
Forms of business, forms of give and take. Chessboard. Which I don't think anyone has proficiency in. I think the only person who has proficiency in a gaming set is Doug. I don't think it's
Okay.
chess.
Okay.
What gaming set does he have?
A lot of backgrounds can give you one, so...
Yes, I know. That's why I know, like, he had a soldier background because of his time in the Orange Sun.
Gotcha.
I think John also had... Actually, I think both of them had that. So John also has proficiency in a gaming set.
Do I?
Yeah?
I thought I only had proficiency in cards.
Yep. That's the gaming set.
Oh,
It
okay.
lets you choose one. The 3 examples are
Yeah.
Basically chess, cards, and dice.
Yeah.
It gives fancy names. Dragon chess is D&D chess, and then just cards, and I don't remember what the dice specific name is, if there is one. And it looks like Doug. I don't remember when this... I think you might have just chosen it back in... back when y'all were in Feldspar, feels right. Darts.
I think so.
Yeah, didn't you say it had something to do with because, like, it's also a weapon, and so you thought that just made sense?
I also
It was
distinctly
mostly-
remember... Sorry, continue.
It was mostly like a way to hustle and get money.
Yeah, he played darts with people
Because-
in several different bars y'all been to. Bars,
Because the
inns, and
tips
such.
are usually metal, and I could like manipulate it.
Because he's a cheater.
Oh.
No, that was what it was. Yeah, that's what it was.
I like the image that as Garon gets back closer to 8:30, Thicket is just upside down on the couch, looking at the rock.
Aw.
Geo. Mason. Gambit sitting over to the side, deep in thought. But have we
What?
considered Sage? This
What
grind just
time
gets
is it
back
right now?
and it is 8 or 8:30.
Okay.
PM.
And it's what, Monday?
It is Sunday evening, the
Oh,
25th
Sunday
of
evening.
June, 4:17. As far as you know, the next day you have a meeting with Barry and Cliff regarding the court.
Yep.
And as of now, your court date is the 28th,
Okay.
Which is Wednesday.
which is Wednesday.
Yes.
This is
I
good.
just
We
wanted
could,
to do something in the morning. I didn't remember what day it was, so perfect.
theoretically, like, we could probably take a break if everybody wants to take a break, or maybe not. Maybe everybody wants to.
What do y'all
Keep
think? You want
going.
to take a 10-minute break and then go another 45?
It's a good time to take a break.
Alright, we'll go ahead and take a quick break then. Walk.
Good
So
time to
time
stop.
it.
We haven't actually taken a break like the last couple weeks.
Because we
so-
keep talking, and it's so much easier for people to send a message that they're gonna dip and use the restroom and be back.
Yeah.
Type stuff if they need to, or if they need to grab something when, you know, someone else is role playing for a while. I know it doesn't allow me to do that, which is why I will be right back.
Well, I'm hoping that we can kind of like speed through the next couple days so that we can get John's
Well,
thing.
I want to go to the magic shop
I'm gonna-
and see if she can like invent something like that, like puts a permanent tongues effect on our rock friend.
All right, finish that. That'd be cool.
Or at least half a tongue, so we can understand him, because I think he can understand us regardless.
I can talk to him whenever, and I can translate.
You
Yeah.
can
Just be
when
like, he said this.
you can talk to him whenever.
Yeah.
Yes, I speak primordial.
I thought he'd speak Terran.
Yeah,
That's
one
Earth
dialect.
primordial.
Ah,
It's like the difference between like French, English, Spanish, and Portuguese.
well, I
It's
mean,
like
I could, yeah, and I could always.
Terran is like the difference between Spain Spanish and Mexican Spanish.
No,
Well,
I
I
could
look-
always get tongues too. Actually, both me and Gron could get tongues, and it's just like a touch-based thing, lasts an hour. But it'd be nice to be able to talk to him whenever we want.
I've got Jackie. I think it can have Rock Boy. Honestly, I'm kind of
I'm
worried.
befriending all of the elementals in this game.
Hello again.
Hey. Honestly, like I said, I'm just worried about Izu right now. In fact,
Oh,
Easier.
yeah, because he hasn't said anything since the other day.
has he been kidnapped?
That's what honestly, like, I'm legit starting to be worried about it. Like, he doesn't say anything by the morning. Like, I'm gonna be like, all right, we need to know like if he's okay. Can you scry Izu? Like, that'll be the thing.
Can leave out treats for him.
See, really the key is not whether you see Izu, but whether there's a distinct lack of pie in a pan of the morning.
We could leave something out. That wouldn't be bad. Maybe.
Sweets and alcohol. He likes those things. And food in general, but especially sweets. Like a little fairy problem. Like the kind of fairies you'd expect in one of those like silly, like where magic is normal type of stories, where it's like you have to put fairy spray outside your window so you don't have fairies coming in and like stealing your dishcloths or things. I also appreciate that, despite the fact that obviously by the nature of this group and the game, obviously there's no horny bard stereotype, but at the same time, the bards are the two characters that have basically been the only ones to have any kind of romantic interactions. So technically they're not even beating the allegations at this point. It's just more restrained than most games and most like this, I guess.
I mean, Gambit's not necessarily a bard.
That's true. Gambit did have a. I mean, it sure wasn't a romantic thing on Gambit's side. That's for sure. He was far too anxious to have any romantic context. Chris is not here, right? He failed the
Don't
perception
know.
check that would have revealed that, while Rusty did have her soup, she did not touch her salad. She doesn't like salad.
She's strictly a carnivore.
She likes fish. She does eat some vegetables, but she likes fish. Lots of fish. Lettuce, leafy greens? No. Not her style. Not her thing.
Yeah, I laughed when he failed that perception check because I knew exactly what you're trying to get him to perceive.
Especially because he mentioned, like, oh, this is nice salad, and I'm sitting over here like, she did not touch hers.
Well, you had mentioned that she had just been like poking around the salad too, and I
Yeah.
was like, I knew that's what you're trying to get him to see.
It's great. He also failed to realize that they had taken the detail to that the star sky is a perfect replication of the night sky during the solstice.
Has everybody voted on the rock names?
I sure didn't, but it's not my vote on, so I'm not going to.
You
vote.
can give your opinion.
Yeah, you
Sure,
can vote.
but I'm not going to.
Why?
Has everyone else voted? Because then I'm gonna put up a new poll with like the highest contenders.
Because it's not my rock. Here, if
You
you'd
created it.
Yes, I did. There you go. I voted.
Jocelyn. Has Jocelyn voted?
I don't know. It doesn't tell me who voted. It just tells me that there are votes.
Hey, Jocelyn, have you
can-
voted?
There's
I didn't.
14. It says 14 votes at the bottom. You just click that.
Oh, does it tell you who voted?
Yes.
Yeah, Jocelyn is not. Gonna have to fix that.
What
Come
if
on,
I don't
Jocelyn.
like any of them?
You don't
Then
like
you
any
say
of
that
them?
and offer other ideas.
I mean they're fine. I guess I'll vote one.
Did you have any other ideas that you'd liked? Do you just want to call him Jefferson and move on?
I was thinking Huishi, which is like intelligent rock,
Huh?
but
Sure. I mean, I don't know if Gambit has any
That
context
one's-
to the Mistral culture, since Mistral is the
No.
stand-in for Asia, pretty much, in this verse that Ruby made. And y'all are in the stand-in for, in my opinion, way too big of an area. The fact that they condensed in the show and like because they wanted to somehow replicate some countries, which is why I've mentioned this before, that the way Rooster Teeth designed the continents is that Mantle is kind of a Northern European, Germanic type of location in terms of culture. Vale is lots of mid and southern Europe. And then Mistral is the Asian countries, you know, your China, Taiwan, Korea, Japan, and then Vacuo is the Middle East and Africa. I think also potentially might have intended to be a bit of a South America and the and Australia as well, but I don't know if those are included if it was just Middle East and South and Africa.
Sheboygan, very big in Sheboygan.
Sure. Whatever
It's a
that
quote from-
means.
Also a town in Wisconsin.
You know what's kind of fun, but isn't going to happen in this campaign, I expect, unless y'all really decide to go out of the way from what I expect y'all to do? That y'all probably are not going to go into a volcano.
Well, now we have to.
I mean, there is a volcano on the map if y'all decide you want to do that.
Dike?
No,
It's
it's
gonna be-
west of Basalt.
Basalt, okay.
Now
Every
it's
time
gonna
you
be
say
somebody's
asshole,
life goal to visit a volcano.
I mean, you said that the vampire werewolf potential would be in that area.
That's Dike, I believe. Was there now? I need to double check whether or not it was the mountains near Basalt or it was the mountains north of Dike. I think it was the mountains north of Dike. To the west is what Bell described. That's what I remember.
I mean, at the end of the day, Micah, you know that if there's a chance of getting one of these sword things, then we're definitely going to go for that.
This is true.
Because
So if I wanted to move it into a volcano, I could just do that. I'm not going to because I already have plans and I've already started working on stuff. But I could.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I think point we're like
Mount Doom.
pretty committed to this path. So it's like it
I
takes
sure
as long
hope
as you.
so. That was kind of intended to be the main plot line for the campaign.
Well, I'm just saying, like, so at this point, it's like, okay, you need to decide then, like, how long do you? Because you're at the point where you can decide how long this takes.
Yes, I can.
If you know what I mean, like, because we'll just keep going, right? Like, I mean, like, we're having fun. We're, if you want to get us to level 18, whatever, we can just be ridiculous. It's fine.
I don't expect y'all to get to level 18.
But if it takes you that long to get us to where these swords are, or to get
This
us in
is
the position,
true. I mean, I don't want a railroad, but
That just means poorly written plot if we don't get there soon enough.
I mean, if we go to 18, we
mean-
might as well go to 21.
Yeah, just break right past. I mean, there
Sunken
are
cost here.
deadlines, technically.
I'm just saying.
It'll be fine. It'll work out.
I mean, we're almost done in Vacuo, and I have I would say, little to very little left to do to prep, I think, for the Amnesia game.
But when's that happen?
So I think that, us being able to do that relatively soon is fine. And then at that, I think you could call it like home stretch, Micah. And so, like, whatever we need to, get the ball rolling is, it's going to be basically in your court, because we're going to be trying stuff. And if you're like, well, that wasn't how I had it, then I mean, we're just gonna keep missing it until we randomly get guess into it. But
Sure.
if it's like,
I can always just
that-
move the thing.
you know what I mean, like, I don't know, it's not railroady, but it's like, if you want us to get to the culmination of what all you're trying to do,
Oh yeah.
then
And
at
I
some point
think
you have to be
y'all
Yeah.
pretty much got it, at least to the points. You know the witches north of Calcite. You know Dyke is your lead for the other sword. You know Nace is where a sword is. You have stuff you want to take care of in Rafe, and you have stuff you want to take care of in Lahar and the Hook. Those, like, main 5 things are all I really expect to happen in the campaign. And if I have to move things around, or railroad, or push y'all with time limits and stuff, I'll do it. But,
there you go.
That's a problem for later. In the meantime, however, I think we've got 30 more minutes a game if we want to.
I mean, I'm good for like an hour and a half, but that's me. I don't want to put that on anybody else.
Goodness. I'll probably not keep us past 10:30 Central.
Okay.
Because I know that
Then
by
let's-
then people start to feel.
Then let's-
So, what else? Is there anything else y'all are doing tonight? Have y'all decided on a rock?
I put out another poll with the narrowed down names so we can narrow it down further.
All right,
That's-
and the Jackie check. Jackie gets 1 more training point. She is now up to 7.
What did you say it was going to be to give her like something awesome? 10? What did you say it was going to be? A lot, if I remember right.
Debating between 5 or 10 in order to increase a stat or to increase her health.
Make it like 10 to do like +1 attack or +1 damage or +1 saves or +1 AC or something like that. Make it like 10, because that way, like, because I'm not going to forget to roll them.
True, I do. I do need to. I guess I haven't technically made a Jackie the Jackal stat block that isn't just the one on the combat tracker. So if I ever have to remove her, I should go ahead and fix that. Yeah, I'll save for now. 10 points to either add her another hit dice, make it 2d6, or to increase a stat by 1. I will share with you her stat block. I don't know why she has polymorph on her sheet. She should not have polymorph. Okay, bonk, bonk. Dude, that's all. Especially because you haven't added anything. Want to see Jackie's?
Oh yeah, I love it.
Still
It's
pretty
adorable.
standard Jackal sheet because the other stuff is in the Jackie's training points thing, which I guess I will throw into the notes page on the on Jackie's sheet, just so we have access to. Actually, that's a fair point. I'm gonna copy and paste the whole thing, and this is gonna be the new section where that is handled.
This this stat sheet gives me the like, "Aw, you're stupid" vibes.
She's a Jackal. She is a non-magical, normal CR0 Jackal.
Where's the thing about her points count?
That is in the notes section. There's the main page, the notes section, and then pictures. The notes section currently has 0.7. She knows the guard, fetch, track, trip, and search techniques.
All right, and then can you put in here what you're gonna charge for different things, like it's like new tricks or new or techniques or whatever, like new points for whatever? Can you do that when you don't have to do it right now? I don't want to like take a whole bunch of time or whatever, but just I can look there. All right. Did anybody else? Because I want to go with John to the magic shop. Does anybody else want to go with us?
I'll go just because.
You're trying to go on the 25th?
In the morning, yeah. This is because we
it's
don't
the
have to.
26th, okay.
So we don't meet.
That could be open on the 25th. Do I not
Yeah,
do
so
anything over the evening?
Not planning on it.
I mean, Garon will tell everybody about his date if that's what they want to know.
Garand arrives back. The others seem disinterested.
They're fully engaged on the rock name debate.
Hey, I'm not gonna make anybody kiss and tell.
John runs up to me. He's like, "Where's your vote, bro?"
What do we name the rock? Look at this piece of paper. Place your vote.
Go ahead. What are you talking about?
We need Jocelyn too. Come on.
It looks like they're all like.
We have
like
a three-way tie, Jocelyn. We need a tiebreaker here.
I already voted.
What?
Second.
I
poll.
made the 3-way tie.
Oh, great. Oh,
She voted
Chris, we need a
Mason,
three-way
making it-
tiebreaker.
Yeah, let's see. So you have Jack, you have Sam, you have...
Garon, you
it's
have to break this tie.
Yeah, it's Chris's tiebreaker. It's Mason.
Looks like Mason.
Okay.
Yippee.
Mason.
I think it's adorable. Like Mason, our little buddy Mason. Like it's like a kid's name, and I mean,
It is.
Okay,
he's-
He is 8. I
like
mean,
8's a good kid. That's a kid, especially
Over.
for a rock. A rock 8 is probably the equivalent of like 2 minutes.
Over the long rest. Gambit.
No,
You don't have to make any saves.
I'm
you're good.
done.
Oh,
Okay.
we got rid of it. Say
You're
we got rid of
mean.
it.
You're mean.
However, Garand, I need you to roll a wisdom saving throw.
Uh-oh.
What? I call shenanigans, man.
Okay, continue. 6 a.m. Long rest finishes without an issue.
I call shenanigans.
are you
Did
long resting us, or do I have to take these points?
Right. I can do that. I
the
have the power. Now I can do it without having to long rest everyone individually because I was not long resting Gambit. Now I can just hit the button and boom, you've been
Nice.
rested. Nice job,
Um,
Gambit.
Thanks.
was the food that was left out? Is that gone?
Oh right, food. Yes.
All right.
Food was gone.
There is
Okay.
there was a plate of cookies that had been left out and it is now empty. And the glass
Okay.
of milk that was set next to it is also empty.
All right. I'm gonna say
Sancho was here.
still okay, buddy.
Eh.
I'm just glad you're okay, buddy. We just hadn't seen you in a couple days, and I start to worry. We like you.
You feel a small weight on your head for a moment. And
Okay. Okay. I was gonna reach up and be like, "I'll scratch you, bud." But all
it
right,
does not stay there for very long.
fair enough.
And then you look back down to your water, which is now turned blue.
Wait, what?
He's playing around.
Garon's glass of water has now turned blue.
Yeah, I
I mean-
get that, but how?
Izu.
I still don't understand. That doesn't explain it. Just
Easy.
like
Smell
put
like.
something in it.
He's a fey creature, so he's always about like silly things and pranks and
Okay.
lighthearted.
Fairy dragons are known for being pranksters, sometimes to the actual harm of people.
Ah.
Such as when he nearly caused someone a very bad night at a restaurant by pouring salt in everyone's wine.
That would have been bad, yeah.
Yep. The bartender did not feel good until the party intervened.
Anyways, Grinding, want to go magic store?
I do. Thicket, you coming? Yeah.
Sure.
Gambit, Doug. No. All right.
I think Doug's okay.
All right.
No takers. All right.
We'll come back shortly so that we can all go to the lawyers' meeting and support John.
I mean, I don't think everyone has to come if they don't want to, but awesome. I guess John and I will go to the magic store.
John and I.
Tuesday
Whoa, you
opens.
blowing
Or
yourself?
not John.
Da-na-na-na. Doppelganger. Okie doke. As you arrive, is it just the two of you?
Thicket's coming. Come
Thicket,
on.
okay, I did not hear the thicket part. As
Like
the
three
three of you arrive, there is the sound of some kind of a spark, or like what we would know to be like a flamethrower from the back room as you enter into the same magic shop. It then
What?
stops for a few moments, and then you hear the clang of what sounds like a hammer on metal.
Oh.
Sounds awesome. Garon's gonna try to peer over. He's gonna try to like kind of like stealthily walk in that direction and see if he can find out what's going on.
You peek behind the door.
Oh yeah.
All right, make a stealth check. Regular old dex based. Pretty well, pretty high. As you peek around, you would see in a fairly similar to normal blue dress, you do see. Actually, there's more than just the blue dress that she's wearing. Let me see. Just so I have her up. Astoria. In the blue dress and vest and everything she was wearing normally, the same lantern on her right side and a revolver on her left, you would see she has these fairly large goggles on, a welder's apron, as she has what looks to be a scimitar in front of her that she strikes again as she and then inspects the metal, dipping it into water and looking at it again after the steam rises. After inspecting it for a few moments, she opens up her palm on her right hand, and there is a small but concentrated burst of flame that seems to quickly condense down into basically a flamethrower that she then begins to use to heat up the metal as she presses it towards the scimitar for a few moments, superheating the metal fairly quickly before then shaking her hand again. It dissipates and she begins to strike the metal again, having not seen you there.
Wait. A flamethrower or a torch?
Torch, my bad. Yes, torch.
Okay. The
Flamethrower would be far
seems
more
extreme for
that'd be a bit much.
missing.
No, like a small torch.
Okay.
It seems to, based on that Arcana check, it seems to be some kind of highly intense, concentrated firebolt that she is just holding in her hand. Which you would know, being able to manipulate even basic cantrips, while you can learn to manipulate them as you grow in power, that's an extremely difficult thing to do. To just hold what's meant to be a very quick thing like that, so nonchalantly, and just using it to heat the metal.
Yeah.
Is
Dang.
pretty intense.
What's her name again?
Astoria Pendragon
Doria.
from the Pieces of Avalon shop.
No wonder I couldn't find it. I was looking for A. I was looking for Astoria.
Astoria.
I thought her
with
name
an
started with A too.
That's okay. It's intentionally and always instead of an A. I understand.
It's all good.
Uh,
I'm just glad I figured out why I didn't get it right.
I'm gonna try to get her attention without like startling her or.
Do I notice him trying to do this?
You would notice him walking up behind you.
I'm gonna kind of put the hand up and like with a finger and
Which finger?
just like a point, like okay, I got like my right hand is like a stop, like don't move, and I got like a finger with my left hand. Whether he does it or not.
Just does John slow down?
John stops and gives Garan like raises his shoulders in a questioning manner, like why can't I get her attention?
And I'll walk him out. Come on, man. I take him out and I'm kind of like keeping it quiet, like I don't know how intense what she's doing is, and I don't want to interrupt her. So if we can let her finish what she's doing, I think she would appreciate it. So we can hang tight and just wait a minute. I'm sure she won't be too long, and if it's been 10-15 minutes, then we can kind of let her know that we're here.
Okay.
Does Thicket do the same? Is Thicket just hanging?
Does this shop have just like casual adventuring gear that like not magic?
Probably. Not a ton, but it would have some basic adventuring gear around.
Thicket
Poles,
will
rope.
look
torches.
for things that could make the little like sling he made for Mason better / prettier / sturdier.
So are you looking for a rope, or perhaps silk thread, or
maybe like
guess-
sewing stuff, strips of leather.
Are you gonna wear him like a papoose or like a baby hammock? Are you gonna do that?
Yes, basically.
That's so freaking adorable. I love it. Just this little cat walking around with his little pet rock. Oh my gosh, this is getting too much. I might die from the cuteness.
Let's see, what kind of tools would these be? I guess they would be weaver's tools. So look for weaver's tools. There are weaver's tools there. Yeah.
There's also cloth working. You could do that, or leather working.
Yeah, but I mean, I was looking at the 5e tools.
Gotcha.
Cloth. I think weaver's tools is the cloth working. There is leather workers tools. Unfortunately, there is not any weaver's tools here.
Is that what a sewing kit is?
Pretty much, yes.
Okay.
I'm going to say yes for the purposes of this.
They have just like raw materials.
There would be some raw materials set off to the side. You don't know how much of it's for sales and how much of it is for her own stuff. She makes basically all of her own magic items of a variety of types, including cloaks and things.
I want to look for like sturdy fabric or leather.
You would definitely be able to find a variety of fabrics, leathers, silks, cottons, leathers from different animals, pretty much all already tanned and prepped. Is there anything in particular you're looking for, or just sturdy leathers?
Just sturdy, maybe pretty.
You'd be able to find some of those different ones, especially some different dyed cloths and things. As you're looking around, there is the click of heels, the click of boots, as Astoria walks into the room, pulling the goggles down to where they're now just hanging around her neck as she looks at you all. Oh, the messengers. Nice to see you all.
Hello.
You want to try out the new toy? You'll
New
hold
toy?
out the scimitar handle toward one of you.
Ooh, yes.
Thicket takes it. What do you do with it?
Is there a target or something for me to aim at?
Isn't a scimitar just a knife on the end of a stick?
Well, I'm gonna
No.
like. I don't want to just swing it wildly.
Hmm.
If I'm gonna hit something,
Let's say
or like swipe in a direction, I want it to be not destructive.
Oh, scimitar's still a big sword. Never mind.
yeah, it's a curved short sword basically.
It's like something else.
She will look around for a moment, seeing what you're thinking before walking into the back and bringing out what amounts to a stand that armor would be put on.
I just hit it like a
Go ahead.
punching bag or something, but like using a sword.
You like try to punch it with the handle, or you just hit it? Like cut.
I'm
or
trying to figure out what the word is. Like a swipe at it like it's a training dummy.
As you swing the blade, you hear her whisper a word, which you assume is the command word. It does appear to be in Infernal. And as she does, the sword in your hands erupts into flame along the blade as you cut into it, cutting through the wood and then also causing the two ends to begin to burn, which she will quickly just shift her hand and the flames dissipate from the wood. The sword in your hand, however, is still on fire.
Dude, it's the sword from How to Train Your Dragon.
Is it like all of it's on fire or just the blade?
Just the blade.
Okay. I'm like, do I need to drop this? They
Just
can hold it at arm's length so it doesn't catch anything on fire.
just say whatever the word would be. Do any of you speak Infernal?
I don't believe I do.
I don't think any of you three speak Infernal.
No, I do not.
Who says a word that you don't understand, but you'd be able to recite? Do you say it?
Sure.
You do, and the flames go out, returning it to be a fairly pretty red scimitar, or not red scimitar, a steel-looking scimitar that does have a red line that goes down the curve, and a variety of arcane markings along the handle and blade. All right, very nice. Yeah. As she reaches to take it back.
Sure.
This is a flame tongue scimitar. I got to get my accent right. This works. It's a flame
I
tongue
was gonna
scimitar.
say she has a different accent every time we talk to her.
But that's because Mike is a failure, not because of anything on her.
Oh,
Well, maybe not a failure. He forgets accents. This is more of what he intends. Vaguely, English, European? Vaguely. Flame tongue scimitar.
Revolution.
Interested?
That is very cool, but I personally don't really even use my regular scimitars all that much.
Entirely fair.
Is it what does the scimitar fall under in 5e?
Short
It is a
sword.
martial weapon.
Oh, how much you asking?
1,000. We'll call it 1,000 gold.
It's tempting. I might. Oh wait,
Think on
you
it.
just put out a stat sheet.
I did, just in case you want to. Just in case you want to see it. It is
honestly,
56
Gambit
fire
might-
damage. Why can't I get this accent to just stay on the same? I don't know. Anyway. 2d6 extra fire damage.
Yeah.
honestly, Gambit might enjoy that. You know.
Yeah.
Well, whether you decide or not is up to you. It's something I've been working on over the last few days. So yes, I do have something new. The scimitar.
Are you willing to hold it at least for the day, and I can let Gambit know about it, and he can come back and purchase it, assuming that John doesn't want it or
It's not
Thicket.
custom ordered, so unless someone comes in to pay more than you.
DM, how far away are we considering earring distance?
Based on the sections that the town is in, you are within earring distance.
Oh, there you go.
Because you're in the same subsection of the town.
Give it. Give it.
Wake up.
What?
Give it. Do you want sword?
Is it a good sword?
It does fire.
It's fire? Well, I have one that does sun damage. Is it expensive?
It's 1,000.
1,000?
I have 2,300 right now.
We are kind of flush with cash at the moment.
I have 2,000.
Gambit, listen, it's good for your more dastardly angling of your weapons.
Gambit, how much damage does your sun sword do? Like what kind of?
Radiant
It
scimitar.
does. It does. It does 1d6. Let me see.
So it has the standard 1d6
Um,
slashing from Scimitar as well.
Yeah, 1d6, and then if the sun is in the sky, it deals an additional 1d6.
Whatever.
I'm gonna turn down the sword because I don't want to use my bonus action to do fire.
Okay.
For the record, you only have to do that the first time, and then it stays until you say
Oh.
it again. However,
Well,
you did seem previously on Remnant and Archon, you seemed highly invested in using your +1 revolver.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I
You-
was like, the fact that you would have the opportunity of choosing to do either radiant or fire, and then being like, oh, and I crit on my fire one, so now I'll sneak attack, and so now you're getting the 2d6 fire turns to 4d6. You're getting the sneak attack turns into double, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just wanted to. I thought that of all people, you might most enjoy it. So.
I think
Nice thought.
if Gambit doesn't want it, I might
Go for it.
go for it.
It does seem cool.
Yeah, I might go for that.
and,
Just because the extra 2d6 is
pretty
enticing,
chunky. It's
especially for a sword. Like I've got a 1d6 sword, two 1d8 swords. So
I forget. Did y'all buy the amulet of proof against detection and location last time? I feel like y'all didn't.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
And I believe you bought the immovable rods. I believe you bought the necklace of fireballs.
Yep,
We have a necklace of fireballs?
I do.
That's cool.
That's
Bought
cool.
this- I'm just putting a new set of all
I
this
have a
stuff.
jug of mayonnaise.
I have a jug of mayonnaise.
And did you buy the... I don't think you bought the vicious scimitar.
I have
You
a
did
jar.
not. And I believe this is an updated list of all the things. +1 arrows, bullets, adamantine half plant, amulet, feet of force, cold resist breastplate, pole of collapsing, potion of healing, quick grows of greater healing, potion of superior healing, fire breath, ring of warmth, set of sending stones, staff of withering, viscous scimitar, and a war pick of life shielding. Not a viscous scimitar, but now that I want to do it, instead of the vicious weapon, I want to have a misspelled viscous weapon. And I don't know what it would do. Probably something ooze related.
Viscous.
Anyway.
Are the set of sending stones reusable?
Yes.
So- Oh yeah.
Sending stone allows you to... It's 2 stones. Do. Sending stones... Not in the... It might not be in the item thing. I can grab them. Effectively, a set of sending stones once per day allows you to cast the sending spell on the opposite holder.
Only once per day?
I believe so, yes.
Oh,
They're not like a walkie-talkie. Yep, once per day.
I just thought of them that way.
How many sets does she have? Just one?
2.
2.
So 4 total stones that do not connect crosswise. It's only once, like set 1 to set 1 and set 2 to set 2.
Yeah.
They have channels.
Yeah.
I
But it's anywhere on the plane, and that's good. All right. Well, Thicket, is it all right if I buy one of those sets?
Yeah. I was
They're
gonna
like-
buy both, but we can split the cost.
I mean, I specifically want to give mine to someone.
Yeah.
So I would buy mine, and you do whatever you want me to do.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Sure.
All right, delightful. Yep, I'm buying one pair, one set.
Minus 250.
Could I have one of the immovable rods? Do we have multiple?
I have 2 of them.
Okay. If we don't have, if we have 4, then it's not necessary. We have like less than 4, but we have a bunch. Then I think I could get up to shenanigans with them.
I believe you have 2.
That's why I bought 2 of them, so I could get up to shenanigans.
I
Okay.
believe you'll
And,
have
you know,
2 of them.
like, infinite ladder and all that.
Okay. Okay. If it's only 2, then don't
I
worry.
don't remember how many I said she had, but I'm gonna say she doesn't have any more.
What is the bead of force?
Gotta be powerful, given it's 960 gold.
Small black sphere measures 3/4 of an inch in diameter, weighs an ounce. Typically, 1d4 plus 4 beads of force are found together. In this case, I think it's just 1, but I could be wrong. Maybe there are multiple. I don't know. I can figure that out in a second after I read the rest of the text. You can use an action to throw the bead up to 60 feet. The bead explodes on impact and is destroyed. Each creature within a 10-foot radius of the bead landed must succeed on a DC 15 dexterity saving throw, or take 5d4 force damage. A sphere of transparent force then encloses the area for 1 minute. Any creature that failed the save and is completely within the area is trapped inside the sphere. Creatures that succeeded on the save, or are partially within the area, are pushed away from the center of the sphere until they are no longer inside it. Only breathable air can pass through the sphere's wall. No other attack or effect can. An enclosed creature can use its action to push against the sphere's wall, moving the sphere up to half the creature's walking speed. The sphere can be picked up, and its magic causes it to weigh only 1 pound, regardless of the weight of the creatures inside. Magic hamster ball.
So it's a fancy grenade mixed with tiny hut mixed with portable hull.
I would say instant hamster ball, but sure.
Oh, instant hamster ball. That's much better. With damage.
With damage. Enough to kill a normal person. Then again, that's most things. And then sending stones are like that. And let me go ahead and throw a set into Thicket's inventory and into Caron's inventory. Both of you, I believe, have already removed your money associated with this.
Yep.
Yep.
Enjoy your magic. Bonk. Remember, the other person has to be holding the other one. If you ever find just one,
Uh-oh.
Sorry, continue.
I don't necessarily want to help your competition, but is there another seller, another shop that you'd recommend that I might go to just to look? I want to. It's very nice to finally have some coin in my pocket. So
The money's burning a hole in your pocket, huh?
no, it's more that I just want to see. Right, I wasn't planning on buying anything, but the fact that there were sending stones that both Thicket and I could purchase, that's delightful because I was hoping that she had some still, and she did. So you never know when you find something you might like. I mean, a flame tongue scimitar sounds delightful. Honestly, I'm surprised that didn't just empower the vicious one that she already had and just, really bring home the power that she has.
Technically, I could have, but it would be far more likely to break and fail.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate.
The more powerful the magic item, the more unstable the creation process is.
And also more expensive.
This is true, and I would like to sell them. And the more expensive it is, the less likely it will actually be bought. I've actually had that breastplate of cold resistance for quite a bit of time now, but I'm also not willing to sell it for much less than it is right now.
Anyways,
Yes, anyways.
I actually didn't come for the scimitar, though I will take it. But I came to ask about something custom.
What can I make
So-
for you?
So Thicket has this pet rock that is apparently sentient.
This is
Um,
Mason. And he holds it up.
Yeah.
She immediately says in Terran, "Are you a living creature?" It like shifts. Yeah? Interesting. I would guess technically still perhaps an infant or a toddler earth elemental. How did you get to this plane? I don't know.
You guessed that it was an earth elemental really quickly.
I've been around the proverbial block. I'm rather schooled in arcane matters.
I see. Well, what I was going to ask is if there is an item that you could construct that, I mean, not all of us speak Terran, of some dialect, and I was curious if there was some something you could construct that would sort of give him, like part of the tongue spell, just so that we could understand him, because I think he seems to understand us, but we can't all understand him.
Have you tried talking to him outside of polymorph?
No, though I thought Micah said that he could understand us.
I'm not sure about
He
that.
cannot. He does not
Oh.
understand common yet. It
Okay.
sounds like y'all would like to teach him.
Well, then all of tongues, because tongues grants the creature you touch the ability to understand, and
Can't speak.
grants everyone else the ability to understand him.
Yeah, which I guess would be an advanced version of basically the Helm of Comprehend Languages, on account of tongue being a more powerful spell. What level is tongues compared to comprehend?
It's third level.
Third level compared to comprehend's first level. And comprehend doesn't give you.
I do plan on teaching him common.
So maybe just something temporary. I don't know. I feel like he would be useful in a lot of cases since he's really good at math and he's pretty smart.
Good at math.
Surprisingly.
He really rocks at it.
Oh, that's a funny joke. Sorry. The tongue spell. Sorry, I was pulled out of it because I saw the material component. The material component for the tongue spell is a joke. It's a clay model of a ziggurat, aka the Tower of Babel.
That's funny. I like it.
Oh, that's great. There are tons of those little jokes in the spells. Sorry, continue. You
Oh,
were
yeah.
saying. Well, if you'd like him to be able to to continually speak, I could potentially create some kind of necklace or attachment that has an advanced version of the Helm of Comprehend Languages spell. That would become, Mike is going to say, a rather rare item, which a rare item has the functional value of where is it? 500 to 5,000 gold pieces.
Whew.
Let's say 550, 600 gold.
Okay.
If that's something you'd like me to prepare.
Yeah.
What exactly does the helm do?
Yeah, I guess that was my next
Well, the
question.
Helm of Comprehend Languages allows you to cast the spell Comprehend Languages at will, whenever you please. It allows you to understand any written or spoken language, but only in literal meaning. But doesn't actually identify the full meaning that would come from any kind of turn of phrase or anything like that. However, tongues grants the creature the ability to understand and speak, or rather, the ability to understand any language they hear, not necessarily read, but hear. And whenever they speak, any creature that knows it, any language and can hear it can understand what it says. Functionally, everyone can understand them, and they can understand everyone. The tongue spell. Mike is also realizing at some point during the last few minutes his playlist was it finished its run, and now I have to start again.
So if we get the helm, we either put it on the rock, and the rock can understand, and Mason can understand us, but still can't speak common. Or we have someone else wear the helm, and then we just have a second person who understands Mason.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as we teach him common, if he's just wearing it all the time, he could pretty much always understand us.
I'm gonna ask Astoria. Do you think having the helm would help with teaching him common?
I believe it would actually have a detrimental effect because it would make him functionally have no, well, his mind would have no reason to actually try to understand and translate common. It would simply understand the words in his own language, which would effectively give his brain a shortcut, give his mind a shortcut so that he would have his mind would feel no reason, no purpose to actually learning the language, and it would become more difficult for him as opposed to easier.
Okay.
In order for your mind to properly learn such a thing, it has to want to. And when it has no reason, it becomes significantly more difficult.
The helm still sounds cool, though, even if we don't use it for Mason.
Yes, they're highly effective, especially for spies. However, notably, Comprehend Language does not reveal any secrets or just decode any messages.
We also have 2 bards, so one of us could get tongues anyways.
Probably.
Do you want to get tongues?
Huh? Well, I'm thinking about it now that I know it's a bard spell. Wouldn't be a
Also,
bad
sorcerer,
thing to have
warlock,
in
and
our
wizard.
repertoire.
Or
Yeah.
we could get helmet that can translate anything, anytime, with no limit on the uses per day. And you
Right.
have extra spell.
You said 500 for the helm?
600 for the Helm of Tongues. For the Helm of Comprehend Languages, I could probably make one and charge you. Make a persuasion check. John.
I didn't think she had a helm of tongues.
No,
I thought
she
it
was offered to
helm
make
of
one.
comprehend languages.
She doesn't have the Helm of Comprehend Languages either.
No, I know. I mean, I thought like the price was for the Helm of Comprehend Languages. I didn't
No, that was for
know
tongues.
there was any mention of one for tongues.
That was for her making one
I
for
crit
tongues.
failed that persuasion
Probably 250.
for Helm of Comprehension or Comprehend Languages versus Helm of Tongues. Honestly,
Can Garand read that social situation and be like, and jump in and be like, surely you can do a little better than that. We've already brought so much business. Is there any opportunity for that?
Persuasion.
All right, good.
oh nice.
Could potentially go down to 150. 107, 180 if you need it as a rush job.
See,
How long will it take?
reasonable.
My standard is typically 4 or 5 days, maybe a week for a standard, and 1 day for a rush job.
That's not bad at all.
I mean,
I want to
comprehend
get a
languages-
Helm of Comprehend Languages just so that we can like read stuff whenever. So, I would.
Yeah, and it just literally translates things.
Yeah.
So it would translate idioms literally too
I would like to get
in
the
text.
Helm of Comprehend Languages.
Rush job
Bang for your
or a
buck,
week?
that's really best.
Did we have a set day that we're leaving?
I mean,
can we
day after
something-
Wednesday.
Hold on, Thicket. I'm sorry, Astoria. Could we maybe make it a nice hat for
Sure.
Thicket and a helmet?
Technically, any item, it's just the standard is helm.
Right, but can we make it like, I don't know, like, you know, like a witch's hat, you know, like the little the little hanging over thing, right? That'd be delightful.
If that's what Thicket wants to wear.
Thicket, yeah? You want something like that?
I really like my straw hat though.
I
So
mean,
you
could
don't
we
wear
make it something that's not necessarily a hat?
Though,
No, that's fine.
notably, if the purpose is to understand
I was-
what Mason is saying, can't Thicket already speak Primordial?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
misunderstood.
was just
thought
planning
Thicket-
on putting it on whenever like I need to read something,
Ah, okay. Well,
like
then
a
never.
pair of glasses.
Okay, never mind.
Ooh. Could it be a pair of glasses?
Sure.
Oh, sweet.
Then you can always have it on.
Nice.
That's all. I was just thinking, you know, since you seem so interested in it, you wanted it so badly, it should be suitable for you. I thought you love hats, so why not a hat? But, you know, I'm not trying to take away your straw hat, don't worry. It's fine.
No, that was good suggestion though. I should get a witch hat at some point for fancy occasions.
I can make one. Whether it's just a regular witch hat or an actual magical object.
You know, now that I'm thinking about it, since you didn't mention any sort of competitor, you know, I asked and you just kind of completely ignored it, I
We got
figured maybe...
distracted by a conversation, but ultimately, I wouldn't. There's not one I'd recommend.
It's
You
fine.
might be able to
How about
find
this?
some in the merchants' quarters or at the school, but as
And-
far as recommendations go, no one's better than me.
It's totally fine. What about a ring of protection?
All right. When do you need it?
We're probably leaving by the end of the week, so 4 or 5 days.
All right. Ring of protection. How does 1300 gold sound?
$1,300.
Yes, 1,300.
This is for what?
A ring of protection. Rings of
Hmm.
protection do one thing, and they do it very well, which is increase your AC and saving throws.
Only a +1 bonus for 1,300? That seems steep.
It's one of the only ways to get the extra +1 to saving throws.
It's
guess.
AC and saves. I was hoping closer to 1,000.
I can do 11. 100.
How much
Ah,
was the helm too?
The hat or glasses, I believe we
Yes.
got that down to 150. 180 if you need it tomorrow.
Can do 150, and I can help with Garon if you want.
I mean, I will not be offended if you want to help me purchase my ring.
I'll do. Let me do minus 150 for the glasses, and then I'll do like 300 for the ring.
Garon is just so thankful. He just
That leaves 800 on Garage, and you said you paid the full glasses amount, Thicket?
Yes.
Wonderful.
All right, I'm just going to minus it now, and I'm going to assume that if for any reason somehow I don't get that ring, I can just have that money back. But I want to minus it so I don't worry about it. Does that make sense?
Sure. I guess I'll be honest, I didn't fully comprehend exactly what you said, but sure.
So it's going to be a few days, but if something ridiculous happens and somehow we have to leave before then we wouldn't have spent the money for her to make something for us that we didn't buy.
Okay.
Right? Because the whole point is, like, if we don't buy it, she'll still sell it.
Yes.
So
Okay.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like,
You can wait
for
on
what
it. Or make a
Or it
note
would just
for
be on hold until we come back to pick it up.
I don't know that it's going to happen. I think we're going to be fine, but just in case.
Okay.
We'll
Whatever
call up
we need
Rusty.
to
Hey, can you
make sure the
get
note's there.
delivered to us?
Alright. And is there anything else I can do for you? She says, straightening the glove on her left hand.
Oh, the materials, like the fabric and stuff.
Fabric and stuff?
So I have this sling, as you can see, made out of plants. But I'm looking to try and make it like sturdier. So that little Mason doesn't just fall at any point.
Okay. Do you want silk or cloth? Or leather?
I feel like leather would be sturdier.
Through the power of the internet, how much is leather as a good?
Probably more expensive than you think nowadays.
Yeah, but in fantasy world, I don't know.
We got so many tonight. It
It's
was
not
nice.
listed as a standard good, but if we take leather armor, subtract the work and additions for good leather, based on the amount you'll need, you basically need a series of leather strips. 5 silver. Add in the silk thread for sewing it, assuming you'd like to sew it all together. Silk.
Wait, am I... Okay, I'm wearing my gambeson right now, right?
I believe so. Yes.
I have studded leather armor. Can I just cut that up?
Sure.
Okay, well, I'll take the thread, though.
Alright. Silk and thread will go for the amount that you'll need. A gold.
Cool.
And if you want, you can mark off a gold, and I can give you a set of weaver's tools as well. So you have the...
You said she didn't have any.
She doesn't, but it wouldn't take you more than 20 minutes to find somewhere else in the market area to be able to buy them.
Okay.
It's small enough to hand wave.
Okay.
It's 1 gold for a set of Weaver's tools. I'm not too concerned that you're going to abuse this.
Oh, you just wait.
Yeah, prove me wrong. Find a way to abuse the Weaver's tools that you're not proficient in.
Man, the game was going so great, and then he gave us Weaver's tools, and somehow it just totally derailed. Man.
Somehow everything went downhill from the Weaver's tools, man. Now the whole campaign's broken, and my friend is dead. Not the character, the actual person.
Well, if that is
Uh.
all we're getting from Astoria, then I have books I want to get.
Books? What books are you looking for?
Primordial to Common.
Duolingo. Do they have Duolingo here?
And
Do they have
an
Rosetta
in-depth
Stone?
guide on elementals.
Alright.
How to care for your elemental.
Okay, so that one's gonna be a little more difficult.
So I hear you want to be a Pokemon trainer.
So primordial common primordial translation, that's gonna be a little more expensive. Especially because so few people would do it. It's an uncommon language. I'm gonna call that one 25 gold. Make a roll a d100 to see if you can find something akin to how to care for your elemental. Or elemental care for dummies. You cannot find elemental care for dummies, no.
No. Is there anything about elementals at all?
Sure, elemental physiology you could find, especially at the school, but not like a step-by-step guide. Here's how to care for your baby or toddler earth elemental. But you could find stuff about particularly the main 4 elementals. We'll call that one another 20 gold, and you can mark that as elementals and you, a guide, just because I like the name.
How much was the first book?
25.
25 gold.
Yes.
Okay, and then the second one was 20.
Yes. Books, especially on obscure topics like this, are expensive.
So that is 45 gold.
Micah, can I get my sword added to my sheet?
Oh, right. You did take
right.
off the money?
Yes.
All right. Let me grab it, and it will have the similar effects of, assuming you want it, the fungal bruise scimitar, the dude walk, which is basically just going to be a couple of extra thingamajigs that I will throw onto the block. Scimitar, flame tongue. You can attune to that because technically it requires attunement, but I didn't have it for while Thicket was trying it. We'll add to the description the Calvary, the Ness, and slicing effects.
Calvary?
So yeah, so that's some of the things from the additional weapons rules that I'm using that don't come up as often, especially with how little combat we have these days.
Did you put that in?
Yep, it is a Scimitar Flame Tongue, and I just added them.
Cavalry.
Calvary? You're right. I did spell it wrong.
Calvary is where Christ died.
Yeah. It is Cavalry, Cavalry, correct?
Yes.
Cool. Nice to know when I was copying things over a while back. I misspelled it. And
The title
honestly, better is that no one has noticed it until now.
The title on the block is wrong too.
Yes. Yes, it is. Anywho.
Sorry, that's one thing that bugs me when people get that wrong.
For some reason, it's not letting me change it, so deal with it.
Okay, fine.
No, I'll find the properties list and try to fix it.
Moving straight toward it. Oh, so I get extra damage if I run towards somebody.
Basically, yes.
That's cool.
Or no, it's specifically while mounted. But if Thicket decides to turn into a tiger and you hop on Thicket, you can deal extra damage. Cavalry.
No, if
And
you
then-
damage a creature with a cavalry weapon after moving 20 feet straight towards the target. Oh, while mounted. Okay.
And then
Just like
slicing
right
is
here.
if you exceed their AC by 5 or more or land a crit, you deal extra necrotic damage equal to your proficiency bonus.
Cool.
Basically, each damage type has a bonus. I think I believe bludgeoning has a chance to knock them prone, and then I don't remember. And I think thrusting reduces their AC against the next attack against them. The books, Maury. I don't think I had a name. Let's see, what should we name the translation one? The regular one, just about elementals, is Elementals and You, a guide. Because I think that's funny.
All right.
And then the other one, How to Speak Rock.
How to speak rock, but isn't it how to speak common if you're a rock?
Technically, it's a translation from Common to Primordial because the intended audience is a normal person and not a rock.
So it goes both ways.
Yeah, most.
Okay.
It's basically a back and forth dictionary. Yeah.
How to speak rock.
How to speak.
That-
rock.
Elementals and You, a guide, gives the same vibes as Hogwarts, a history.
I like that.
And that brings us to like 10 o'clock. Are y'all meeting Barian?
Yes.
As you prepare and arrive at Barian Cliff, Cliff and what's the other guy's name? Cliff and Sullivan. You get up to the room where he is. You do end up getting to his office. You are ushered into the right spot. Good. We've been doing some of the work, and you ready? Are you ready to begin preparing for your case?
Yes.
All right. Let's.
Well, I hope so.
Well, hopefully it won't take too long. And then there was a knock on the door. Sir. Yes, what is it? Mike needs to grab a thing. Where is the note? Da 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 da. Yes, sir. It's Lieutenant Thomas Haley to see you and the client. There's some
That
others
was-
with him.
Fortunate timing on his part. Unless he was following me.
I wouldn't rule anything out. Would you like to let them in?
Might as well. Not much point
Alright.
in keeping him out.
Bring them in. Haley and two others will come in, look around at the others, and then looking at Barian and John. Well, I'd like this to go to court. I'd like to point out your crimes, clearly. Come to offer you a deal.
Okay. Listening.
That feels like a good spot. Stop.
Aww.
It is
That's great.
10:45 Central. Don't want to keep us too long, especially for the people in the Eastern?
The cheap.
Eastern time? Seems like a good enough spot to do it as well.
That's awesome. That was...
Well, I wasn't expecting a shopping episode today, but here we are. I mean,
I don't think
should
we
have
were either.
Yeah, I should have expected it because y'all like money, and now you have it. So you know, I just love Thicket's slowly growing book collection.
I am portable library.
Do you have a bookshelf in your portable hole?
Yes.
You should get one. Currently, they're all just stacked on top of each other. You should get a book box or something. Because there's no gravity in the hole. You open it on the ground, and then it like opens into the interdimensional space. Because if you hold the hole sideways, it's an interdimensional space, so it doesn't have the same gravity.
I thought when it was folded, it didn't do anything.
Yeah, exactly. So when it's folded, the books don't fall over because they're in an interdimensional space. So you've stacked them neatly, and now they don't move. That was fun. I enjoyed the session. Lots of roleplay again. I'm ready for y'all to kill something. Very ready for y'all to kill something. Fortunately, that should be soon.
Wait, are we gonna kill Haley?
I mean, if you
I
wanted.
feel like that would be unwise.
I would agree. I would tend to agree, but you do what you want. And then I have to figure out which direction y'all are actually going to go, because at this point I still don't know if y'all are planning to go to Calcite, Dyke, or Nace next. Or if you're going to take an absolute beeline and just say, alright, Gambit, we're going to Reef, we're going to take this guy down now. It sounded like y'all were going to either Nace or Calcite still.
I feel like, honestly, Dyke actually might be the best bet, because we might be able to just get that sword easily, and then we can go fight the witches with 2 swords. And then once we defeat the hags, so then we can go take on Tatsui with 3 swords. And by then, maybe we'll have enough information to prove that he's not the dude. He's the bad dudes.
I love how the party as a whole, aside from John, is making a collection of magical swords. John just has a collection of swords. I've got 3. I have 4 swords now.
That's it. Yeah, you have a Moonlight short sword. You have just a rapier. The Flame Tongue Scimitar, which do you want to attune to?
Yes.
And you have a non-magical bastard sword.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I just have a ton of swords. I don't know how John is holding all these.
I do actually need to fix, because the Scimitar Flame Dog
That might be why you keep getting over encumbered.
Well, the swords aren't even that heavy. They're like 3 pounds apiece.
Speaking of weight, Micah, how heavy should these books be? Because some of them say 1, and then the others have 0.
Just make them all as 1. 1 weight value. Roughly a pound, depending on how big the books are, and some of them are bigger, some of them aren't. Just average out at 1.
Why does it matter? I thought if they're in the portable hole, they don't... Weight doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, but if I take them out...
Oh. I mean, are you going to take all of them out?
Speaking of which, yeah, John, you're over encumbered now.
You don't know.
I'm not.
Liang's spellbook is
It says
marked
you
as
don't.
I
a
am.
3.
I think it might be your gold that's over encumbering you. Because
Is it really?
I think 50 gold is a pound.
You probably
Oh,
just
shoot.
switch
Yeah,
to
and we just got like 2 grand.
Yeah, so if you wanted, we could transfer that to platinum and make it a little lighter on your pouch.
Yeah, is there a bank around?
Yeah, you're in the city. You can change it. Now, if you were like trying to transport 50,000 copper from a vault in an old castle or something, then no, you got to deal with the weight, bro. But for this, yeah, no, if you want to change, it's 10 gold piece to 1 platinum. So that'd be 223 platinum if you wanted to add that there and change it to 2 gold in your inventory.
Liang's spellbook is marked as 3 pounds.
Let me see how heavy a spellbook is.
Wait. Why did that make my... Oh, there it went. There it went. Yeah.
That's like a college
I just
textbook.
dropped...
That's fine.
I just dropped 35 pounds of weight out of my inventory just doing that.
Yeah, apparently spellbooks are 3 pounds for a leather-bound tome with 100 pages. So maybe the others should. Maybe the other books should be 3 pounds apiece. I guess. All right. Well. Feel free to shift those over to 3 pounds. I guess.
Give us our copper.
Yeah,
Do
I'm
you
working
think
on it.
How to Speak Rock is 3 pounds?
You know, that should be like 10 pounds just for comedy's sake.
How much are other coins weigh?
It's
I
the
think
same.
it's standard 50. Just because it makes things simpler to do. Math-wise.
Yay, session copper!
Yeah, you got your session copper. Now we go to the XP. Got first date experience, I guess.
Woo!
First and perhaps last date.
Yeah.
She's
That
fully
definitely
aware you might die.
that seemed more like a business meeting or whatever, but it's fine.
I mean, that's what a date is for, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. That may just be how she looks at it.
Someone roll a d10. Geislin, roll a d10.
No.
Wow, I guess you don't have to if you don't want to. I mean,
Cease.
nice. Okay. And experience 900. I'm sorry. Yes, 920 a person. Enjoy. You've experienced more. Bringing the highest
Give it
experientialism
now.
of Thicket to 54,848. You are now roughly 9,000 below level 10.
Woo.
Alrighty. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream side. Thanks for coming and hanging out, anyone. I appreciate you. And I hope you have a wonderful week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.